Hey guys, it's Rachel here, and today I'm going to be filming for you guys my April wrap-up. And April, although it feels like it has been a ridiculously long month, and I didn't read all as much as I would like to. I think I read like 6 things. Now, if you remember, I did post a April TBR, and I somewhat stuck to it, but at other points I didn't. Sarah and I didn't end up actually really reading anything together. I got so busy and my anxiety was really bad, so I just kind of became a recluse, so I didn't get to read as much as I would like to, and I'm sure Sarah and I will read something together soon, so I'm not entirely worried about it. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what I have and what I read. 2 things were graphic novels, 1 was an audiobook, and the rest was physical. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read this month, or rather finished this month, was Pieces of Revenge by Valia Lind. Now you guys know I have been reading this for a while, and so last month I decided to go ahead and take the plunge, and I finished it all in the rest of it all in a day, and I ended up giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you guys don't know, the story follows her main character named Anastasia, and Anastasia, when she's very young, her parents are brutally murdered along with her brother, but her father helps her to escape into a safe room before the company Kalos Enterprises can find her. Fast forward, she has grown up and she is very vengeful. She has revenge in her heart, and she wants to take revenge on the, like I said, Kalos Enterprises over her family's death. Cue in our main male love interest, Logan. Logan is a guy that just kind of walks into her life kind of randomly after she goes to a party, or she kind of goes to this Kalos Enterprises party, and then he tells her that he knows her even though she doesn't know him or have any memory of him. I enjoyed Pieces of Revenge. It's probably not my favorite book of all time, but it was very action-packed. There was action from the very beginning of the story, and I really appreciated that. I enjoyed this. I did enjoy this, and I am planning on continuing with the trilogy. I think she's going to make it with trilogy, and I just want to say thank you so much again, Valia, for letting me read this. I am so incredibly grateful, and you are the best. The next book that I read this month is going to be Swimming Through Clouds by Rajeep Paulus, and this was sent to me by Rajeep. I think I told you guys that in a couple of videos, and she sent me the entire trilogy, and I read the first book and almost finished the second book this month. I loved this. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. This follows a main character named Talia, and Talia is in a high school senior, and she just wants to be a wallflower, blend in, not talk to anybody, just kind of make it through life, her last year of high school, kind of just being unnoticed. Cue in our main male love interest, Logan. I hope that's how you say it, Logan. And one day, he sees her and he automatically knows that he wants to be eating lunch with her, so he starts to kind of pester her into eating lunch. They start eating lunch, and because she is kind of a recluse, they end up messaging each other using post-it notes. Now, something interesting about this book is that there is some underlying factors into it. Talia has a very difficult home life, and so this has a trigger warning for domestic abuse. If you guys don't like books that have abuse in them, parental figures, abuse, anything like that, this is not going to be a book for you. However, I think this is a really important book. I absolutely loved this story. I loved following Talia and her brother Jesse, or Justice. I really loved following them. It is very beautifully written. The only reason I did not give this a 5 stars is because the beginning just dives right into it, and you don't really have any backstory at the beginning of the very first chapter, so you kind of just get thrown into it. But as the story goes, you get to learn more and more and more about what's going on. I am reading the second book, and I absolutely love the second one. The second one's queuing up to be a 4-star book for me as well. I really, really recommend these books. They're amazing. I will link down below to where you can get the ebooks. They are super cheap. I really recommend it, and thank you so much, Rajeep, for sending this to me. The next thing that I finished this month was going to be an audiobook, and that was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now, I've been listening to Red Queen for a really long time, and if you guys have seen my review on Goodreads, I will link it down below, you will know that I liked Red Queen. I didn't love Red Queen. I think that I wish I would have read it as opposed to listening to it. For some reason, I think that the narration was kind of off-putting for me. I don't think that I thought that the narrator fit the voice for our character in here, for Mare. I liked Red Queen. I didn't love Red Queen. I think I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you guys don't know what Red Queen's about, it follows a main character named Mare, and Mare lives in a world where there are red bloods and silver bloods, and your red bloods are going to be your commoners, the servants, the workers, the soldiers, and the silver bloods are going to be royalty, and they also have magical powers, kind of. They have these like superhero type powers, and they kind of rule over everything. And then Mare, by some interesting turns of events, Mare finds out that although she is a red blood, she has powers, and then the story goes on from there as it does. I think that I am in the lower minority when it comes to Red Queen. Most people seem to really love it, and I'm not saying I didn't like Red Queen. I enjoyed Red Queen. I just think that it wasn't anything really original. I thought it was a whole bunch of stories in one. Like, I could see the Hunger Games aspects of it, where people were saying they could see Hunger Games. I could see the selection aspects of it. I could see the two, you know, having red blood and silver blood. I can see all these different aspects of the stories kind of put together. It was an enjoyable read. I did enjoy it. I just don't think it was anything groundbreaking for me. It's not something that I'm going to like run out the next, you know, when the next book comes out to get. But I do want to continue with the story to see where it goes. I think the biggest problem for me though was the romance aspect of it. I thought it was really awkward. I don't like the fact that it was a brothers thing. It was kind of odd for me. I just thought that the romance was, or at least one half of the romance was unnecessary, and it kind of bugged me, and I think that's why I didn't like the book as much as I wish I would have. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to read Red Queen, totally go ahead and read it. I definitely recommend it if you want a fast-paced, cool, fantasy, dystopian story. It's enjoyable. It's just not my favorite thing ever. And then the next thing I read was kind of on a limb. I read a graphic novel using my Scribd app, and I read Blue is the Warmest Color. This was for my Book Riot Read Harder Challenge, and that was to read a book with LGBTQ character or author, and this one had a lesbian couple in it. This is a very interesting coming of age graphic novel. It is very beautifully done, very short, like 160 pages. I read it in about an hour. It was really enjoyable, and it's told in the perspective of a diary format. So at the beginning of the story, we find out that one of the main characters has died, and she has left her diaries for her lover, girlfriend, whatever. And so you're reading the story as the lover reading the diary of the one who has died. It is really beautifully written. It is an interesting seeing the progression of the one who has died, explaining how her life, how she's come out, how she has how she struggled internally for so long, you know, trying to be something she was not, coping with her friends, coping with her family, and the time periods in. It was beautiful. I really recommend it if you want something that is coming of age, that is has a different kind of perspective on it, that's told in diary format as someone reading a diary. It's beautiful. I gave this a 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. I'm not 100% sure. It was beautiful, and like I said, I read it on Scribd because it was free, and I was just like, I think I heard Susie from Read Susie Read talking about it, and like I said, I loved it. I highly recommend it. And then finally, the last thing that I read this month, Sex Criminals Volume 1 by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. So I picked this up on a whim. This is for a book haul that you have not seen yet, but I picked this up at a Hastings because I wanted to see what the hype was with this one, because a lot of people are talking about it. And if you guys don't know, this follows a main character and a couple who, whenever they have sex and orgasm, time stops. So what happens when time stops? you rob a bank, and this is what this story is about. It's a lot of fun. The artwork is really cool. I really enjoy the artwork. It's really colorful. It's really fun, and the story is original. I have never read anything like this. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought at times it was a little bit weird, but this was a lot of fun. Just a side note, this is very, very mature. Obviously, I would not recommend this if you're probably under the age of 16. It's got very mature content, nudity, graphicness in it, but it is awesome. I really recommend this if you want a fun, fast-paced, original story. So yes, those are all the things that I read in April. I am going to finish A Darker Shade of Magic tonight, so it may not be April, it may be May. I am currently 260 pages into it, and I am loving this. And in case you guys are curious, I am reading this for the Little Book Club, and I'm going to be hosting the live show with Katrina and other people, and I'm very excited to do so. And so I am very excited to finish the story. I am loving it, loving it, loving it. Of course, Victoria Schaub, she's the queen. So yeah, like I said, those are all the books that I read in the month of April, and yeah, I guess I had a pretty good reading month. If you want to let me know down below what it is that you read, I would love to know. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.